Thank you.
It came! It finally came!
So I finally went and bought myself a wire feed. I've been using that stick welder for years now, and I've got experience with wire feeds. You know, I've used some really nice ones. I've used some kind of middle of the road, and I've used bottom of the line. I've used a thermal arc, about a $2,000 welder, runs on 220. That thing will burn through anything and literally weld anything from sheet metal to, you know, ½ inch. It's pretty awesome. I've used a snap-on wire feed. I've used a 220 Lincoln, 110 Lincoln, the long arms that I put on my ZJ. I did all that with the 220 Lincoln. And I've also used, you know, the Chicago Electric entry-level Harbor Freight variety. So I've got some experience with different types of welders here. So this came across my Amazon as a suggested product, and I read the reviews, and they're actually really good. And this thing was only 300 bucks. So it's the Weldpro 155. It MIGs and sticks. It can run on 110 or 220. So in this video, we're just gonna open this box up, see what it all looks like, and maybe do a few test passes with the flux core wire plugged into 110 and see how it works. What's in here? Kids might like that. Sweet. This is the hardware box. Got a flow meter for your gas. I don't have a bottle yet, but we'll be getting that for show.
Getting that for show.
Little baby roll of wire. Man, these leads feel really good. A little more spring than my old Lincoln. All right, there's the adapter to go from the 220 to 110. See for the gas. Different drive rollers, some tips, spring, and the ground. Man, that feels nice and stout too. Sweet. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. Oh, isn't that cute? Just a little guy. Sweet. You know, it actually feels pretty good. This plastic feels similar to, you know, Harbor Freight stuff, but this feels like it's a little better quality. It's like the tip's nice and in alignment. I don't know if you can see that. So that's pretty cool. Looks like we got totally variable amperage. So that, all right, there's your wire speed. All right, and the amperage is completely variable. That is a huge difference between this and my stick welder. My stick welder is like in 15 amp increments. In some sections it's 10 amp increments. There's one tiny little section where it's 5 amp increments, but most of it is 15 amp increments, and it makes it so hard to adjust. So I'm excited to try this thing out in the stick mode with the variable amperage and variable wire speed. You know, some of the Harbor Freight ones, it's like a click, click, click welder as well. So you don't have a lot of adjustment and fine tuning. This is gonna be nice for, you know, adjusting for overhead work, adjusting for, you know, sheet metal, or if you gotta go from thin metal to thick metal. It's gonna be good. All the cords feel really nice actually. And I mean, this is kind of like in comparison to the Harbor Freight variety. When you step into the high-end welders, everything feels really good. But like this, the rubber coating, everything, it feels good. I'm excited to try this sucker out. So on this side, it's where your wire goes. So that's all plastic. That's interesting. Hopefully it lasts. That's where the different spring goes, so it adjusts the tension on your roller there. I'll have to look up what it's set up for as far as drive rollers and what wire. A little video I watched on it shows that there's different drive rollers for depending on if you got flux core or solid wire. So I'll have to figure out what one it's got in there. So this all feels decent, but it's all plastic. Hopefully I don't have any issues with that breaking. Infinitely variable wire speed, infinitely variable amperage. So that's really nice. I'm excited. So since this thing can do stick, this is where the hot lead of the stick is. But when you're not using stick and you want to use the MIG, you just plug this in right here. Easy peasy. Then, gotta get your ground. It just goes on the negative side here. Pretty easy. It's got the 0.8 roller in it, which will run the 030 wire. Alright, and I'm going to be running this thing on 110. I don't have any 220 hooked up in the garage right now, so this is going to be perfect. Eventually I will get 220 hooked up. That way it involves some bigger stuff. So I'm going to go change real quick. I don't want to burn a hole in my new t-shirt. By the way, you can buy these t-shirts on Teespring. Link is in the description below. Be right back. Alright, that's better. Now I'm ready to weld. So, I'm just going to make a few passes with the 110 power on some scrap metal, just to see how it goes. And then, yeah, and then we'll wrap this video up. Alright, I'm down here on the floor now because if I weld on my wife's table, it's going to get me some big time trouble. We don't want any of that. And I don't have my fab table yet. Hopefully this guy can help me out with that. This metal's pretty clean. Got some 3/16 and some quarter. Let's do a couple passes on that. Flux core. Alright, finally got the thing to weld, and flux core is just messy, but not enough heat on the recommended settings. I mean, that weld is not flat at all. You can barely see it on the other side. Try to crank it up. A little bit better with some added heat. I think I can work with that. But it's a little bit hotter now. When I was cranked all the way up to 24, it was glowing red on the backside. See a little discoloration on the backside, not huge penetration for sure. This is just kind of screwing around. All right, so initial impressions. I was a little nervous when the wire wasn't feeding through properly. That was user error. I had the solid core drive roller installed. That's what came installed from factory. I thought it would have came installed with, you know, the Flux core wire drive roller because it came with Flux core wire, but it's all right. So I put the right drive roller on and it works pretty good. It's pretty smooth. Definitely gonna want to get some shielded gas and solid wire because man, Flux core is so messy. You know what? We should try some stick just real quick before I end this video. Let's try that. All right, so I'm not hugely optimistic on this with 110 running stick, but we'll see. See how it goes. Dude, that's actually pretty rad. I don't know where my shipping hammer is right now. Dude, that is not bad. Sweet. I'm pretty excited about what we're gonna be able to build with this thing. So, yeah, future welding projects. The one I'm going to do next week, you're just going to have to wait until next week. It's a little bit funny. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. So next week, first welding project with the Weldpro 155 coming up. After that, we're going to be doing a fab table. We're going to be doing a desk for the girls. And then after that, you know, stuff for the big chief. We've got cross members to build. We've got roll cages to build. We've got a bumper for the 1 ton. All kinds of good stuff. I will link this welder in the description below. You can buy it on Amazon for $300. Pretty sweet. Thank you so much for watching this video. Wheel it, wreck it, wrench it, repeat. See you next time.